Oh, hello and welcome to race 2 of the Coa Sports League, all the way from London.
London, baby. Should we crack in?
Oh, why not? Why not? Why not? All right, welcome to race 2 of the Coa Sports League. That was a bit of a last minute. And here we are, Tim. We are live at race 2. The riders are in the start gates. How are you?
We're in the paddock, mate. I'm excited. Last race was unbelievable and some unbelievable results. And we've got a great little highlights package that we're going to go to straight away, hey?
Let's do it.
There's going to be almost a trainer explosion. Jason Avery coming up on the left. Tebow responds.
Look at this. They're both
Jason,
at it.
neck and neck. Round 1, mate. It's on. We're up for points. No more mucking around. We are on.
Let's do it.
That's right. This is a really powerful front group now. We've got Chris Piper, Tony Goodyear, Jason, and Tebow.
I think there's going to be one more flurry of attacks as we hit that climb towards the finish.
See, someone will break first. It's a bit of a game of poker. Who's gonna break first? Jason right on his wheel. You're going to see an attack.
Here we go.
Tebow's dropping 10.6 watts. He's got the draft bus. Jason Avery did hold the power up. Can he respond?
12 watts a kilo.
Can Jason Avery move through? There's going to be almost a trainer explosion. Jason Avery coming up on the left. Tebow responds.
Look at this. They're both at it.
Neck and neck down the finish. Oh my God, this is so close. We can't see it. It looks like Tebow is going across the line to Jason Avery.
Sarah's pushing. April's on a wheel. Is April going to come through? Is Steve going to hold on? It's on. And we've got Steve-O. Sarah, then April, followed by Zach. And I reckon tonight is going to be just as or even more exciting, mate. That was so much fun last time.
I tell you what, my voice hit a whole new level of high note, and it was my first cigarette for a very long time.
And did we wake your daughter up?
We may have.
Well, we won't tonight because we have moved to the purpose-built studio.
We are. We're in the studio. And
first time ever.
If you are watching, of course, you wouldn't be able to tell because the wonderful backdrop
just
you could
same.
be anywhere. You could be on a boat.
Anywhere.
Maybe we are.
Like some of our athletes all around the world. So let's go back to how things unfolded in the last race and just do a quick recap of where everyone's sitting. So we just want to run through first of all, the male overall leaderboard, and then I'm going to let you do that, and then I'm going to run the female overall leaderboard.
Right, so we had Tebow currently, he sits on 100 points, Jason Avery in second position on 90 points, Chris Piper in third, 80 points, Aaron Stagg from New Zealand in 70 points, Tony Goodyear from the UK living in Melbourne having on 70 points also. Steve Davies up in Cairns, Far North Queensland, Australia, 65 points. Aaron Webb in Sydney, 60 points. 8th position, Phil Ingram in the sunny and warm Ballarat, country Victoria, 50 points. Alex Tolman, 45 points, 9th, and tie for 10th, Adrian Elsom and Zach Anstey on 30 points.
Well, I'm glad I got you to go through them. Now, here's the thing. If you're a female out there watching tonight, it's time to get involved because we have only got at the moment a top 3 female leaderboard. Have a look at the prizes, coloursportsleague.com. So leading the female leaderboard is April Gillies on 40 points, Sarah Goodyear on 35, and Hayley Tuck on 35 also.
Yeah, we've got, by the looks of it in the paddock tonight, looks like we have 20 starters, which is really solid. It's, Thursday night is our spot. It's eSports night, 7:15 p.m. on the east coast of Australia. And really looking forward to an amazing race. And of course, with the group workouts during the week, some people managed to unlock the Colour Sports jerseys.
Yes.
Of course, designed by our wonderful friends 2XU. And speaking of 2XU, here's a little clip for them.
Got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
1, 2, 3, listen.
And here we are back again. Now, we just want to give a quick shout out to the athletes that are actually racing tonight. They're all in the starting gates. We're 2 minutes and 45 seconds away. So in A grade tonight, sounds like a boxing tournament. We have all the way from Perth, Western Australia.
In the red corner,
Jason Avery, Karim Bari, Tebow's in there, Chris Piper, Aaron Stagg, and Aaron Webbs, commonly known now as the 2 Ronnies.
The 2 Ronnies here in B grade. In the green corner, we have Brandon Geriel, who has just joined, coming off a wonderful performance in Ironman Cairns. Karim Bari in for his first race tonight. Steve Davies, Phil Ingram.
And in C grade, fighting out of the blue corner, we have all the way from Melbourne, Zach Anstey. We've got Jeff Bartlett, April Gillies, Sarah Goodyear, Jason Myrtle Madsen.
Last but not least in the yellow corner.
Hang on. Alex Tolman's also rounding out C grade.
And last but not least in the yellow corner in D grade, we have Dave Biondo, Hayley Tuck, and Sofianos.
Cialtis.
So we have a little over 90 seconds before the race start. Now, this is a relatively flat course, obviously, tonight. It is short. It is sharp. It is going to be painful.
Ooh.
When is it ever not painful?
The group workout the other night wasn't too bad, but I was dropping a few watts on the way through. So we are racing around London. If you are watching a Zwift event for the first time, this is probably the most iconic course on Zwift because you're actually right up the Mall in London.
Yep. And it was good to see there. So there is some chatter in the paddock at the moment, and they've noticed Chris Piper changed grades. I'm aware that he was given a note by the KSDA, given his podium placing in A grade, that he can no longer move down. So Chris Piper had to change from B grade to A grade. So, of course, as we get further through into the season, athletes will be responsible for their points. And we did have a couple of athletes last race, unfortunately, that couldn't score points due to racing on TT bikes. But them's the rules, and you've got to play by the rules. Now, we're inside 40 seconds, so we're expecting a hard and fast start, and this is going to be one hell of a finish.
Oh, this is going to be on like Donkey Kong tonight. I'm actually happy that not everyone's in the Colour Sports kit for this event, because I'd struggle to pick him out.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really on from the start.
Yeah.
Super fast.
It certainly makes our life easier as everyone's not in the Koa Sports kit, but we do like the look of it. So, of course, it's entirely up to you. Look, the key moment in this race tonight is obviously the Piccadilly Square Hill as you come off what's the main river in London called?
The Thames.
Oh, the Thames, thank goodness
Jeez,
for
you
that.
put me on the spot.
Definitely. And we are off and racing.
Here we go.
And we are with Jason Avery in the big start, dropping some orange numbers here. Just 7 watts per kilo, 8.2 watts per kilo. Jason Avery looking really good. A great angle. Tebow getting off, of course, to that flying start. They're going to have to grab his reel really, really early. There's going to be moves early here.
So early group, I would imagine, is going to start to get together. Tebow's very experienced, and I doubt that he will try and go solo for the whole race.
He may very well.
But our friend from Western Australia, Jason, will probably drag a few across with him.
Respond
across
early.
the gap.
See, now you can see on the right-hand side there already A-grade has almost found its mark with our top 5 riders in the category now. We've got, and Sof in D-grade mixing it with the C-grades, and B and C still all mixed together.
Yeah, we sort of, Tim and I had a quick chat about this race. We sort of think it'll stay a little bit more together tonight, being a slightly shorter event and no leg snapper.
No leg snapper indeed, but also there's only really one key moment of, I would say, elevation where there will potentially be a split in the group. And this race is probably more strategic than any race in the Zwift racing circuit because it really does come to strategy and saving those legs for the absolute sprint finish. So here's our front group at the moment. We're watching Aaron Stagg, who's found his way into the front group, which is a really, really good sign early. It's a nice front group. And Alex Tolman, of course, here, and Phil Ingram from B and C grade with the A graders, so really holding in some wheels. Then we can see the separation in the group. We can see that second group with Sarah Goodyear and Steve Davies, which we'll go to now.
Yeah, so a good group starting to develop here as well, and looks like a bit of a replay from our last event with Zach, Sarah. I would imagine that's April there climbing up in there. I can see Sof Cialtis in there as well, mixing it up. And that will be a very solid group as they form as well. And now it's interesting, the athletes are starting to get a bit of experience with this sort of racing. If they hadn't already, and understanding that you can hold a wheel, you don't have to push red numbers the whole event.
Yeah, absolutely. So, look, it's an interesting also, then we've obviously got another separation. And you can see here Brandon in B grade is 7 seconds off the back of this group at the moment. And that's a really difficult position because then you've got another big gap again. So Brandon's got to work really hard here to close that gap to really try and find some points.
Yeah, so here's the thing. First race for Brandon. I have no doubt that he'll bridge that gap. I'll throw it out there now. But he'll be working his bum off for quite a period of time too. He can actually see them in sight now. So.
Yep. Well, we might move back to the front group now as we wind our way through the tunnel and out onto the Thames River on the left-hand side. Really, really solid first group here. Geez, this is going to be a fun finish. But having said that, I will be surprised if this group stays together up the Piccadilly Square Rise, which is about a 1 kilometre about a 1 kilometre distance.
So there's two real key moments before the sprint finish. Obviously, here we've got the Constitution Hill climb that's about 1%, so not really going to hurt anyone.
It's almost a false
much.
flat.
Yeah, and then the Piccadilly Rise. We know that well, being on Zwift quite a bit around London, it does kick up a little bit. If that's going to be the point, it'll be where the attacks happen. So, what an iconic circuit. I've certainly run, and I've never ridden, but I've certainly run and walked around these roads many, many, many times. And here, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the front group, all sort of staying together here.
Now, I find really interesting tonight that only 7 seconds separates front and second group. And obviously on flat courses here, it is hard to break away early. And you'd be very, very brave to try and ride off the front. So I think most people really are going to try and sit in here and potentially just save for the big drop at the end. But we may see some action here coming up shortly. We'll go back to the second group.
Yeah, the second group still soft.
Nice group, riding well together.
Yeah, they all look like they're rotating around nicely.
Brandon is only 13 metres off the back. You can see Brandon there. You were right. He has seemed to have bridged back up to that group, which is really good effort by him.
He's pushed hard.
He will find some relief. Yeah.
He'll be looking for a wheel to hold. Coming off Ironman Cairns only under 2 weeks ago. So his legs will be screaming out at him quite a bit, I would imagine, at the moment. If we go back down the field there a little bit as well, we've got Maddo as well, just off the back there, about 10 seconds.
Yep.
He's got a bit of work ahead of him, and we've got Haley and a couple of others back there as well.
So,
we can't quite see them at the moment.
And back to the front group as we come up to the Piccadilly Rise, a really key moment in this race, and we'll sit with the guys here. Again, mostly A grades, but it's really clever that Phil and Alex have managed to stay with this front group. So of course, competing for different points in such a way, but being able to use each other's wheels as you get that draft effect. So here we go for the right-hand turn. You're going to see some action here, Greg, as they come around here and try and potentially separate the group. Look for the familiar faces of Tebow and Jason Avery potentially off the front. Alex Tolman into a really good position off the front of the group. He positioned himself really, really well coming into that, and Tebow's sitting back there really nicely. Not seeing massive attacks, but Tebow's going, here comes some orange numbers. Here comes Tebow with 10 watts per kilo riding off the front. I think there's legs on the road. This is a big attack. Who's going to respond? The guys are responding really well. They're going to have to really dig in here and fight hard. As they come across the crest, yep, they're all back together. The four guys are back together. The second group, of course, making their way up the hill as well. It'll be interesting to see what's happened back there. They've managed to stick together too. So, again, probably a little short to break away, but we're going to be hard up on the finish pretty shortly.
Taking a few souls going up that hill. There look to be a bit of a gap back to the two guys behind, maybe, but we'll cross back to that later. The second group definitely made the top of the climb now, and they are looking like Royals, Tim.
Royals indeed. So we're 4.3 kilometres into the race now. This front group has spread out somewhat. I'm confident that they may come back together. You'll get these clusters of riders now. But, yeah, we do have a separation at the front for sure, and some familiar faces.
And the B-grade group within sight off the back as well at only another 5 seconds back. So there's a few athletes hanging around there as well.
So familiar faces here at the front, of course, Tebow and Jason.
Can we see a repeat of the... I hope we do.
They went very hard in round one, and rest assured, I know Jason has been working very hard to change that result. So I'm absolutely no doubt that he's going to leave everything out there again, and Tebow has his work in store for him for sure.
Yeah, it was one of the highlight, or if not the highlight, one of the biggest highlights of last event was these two going head to head in the final sprint. Tim needed a cigarette after it. Didn't happen. It was one of the funnier moments of the night. And then we had another group behind them, a group of four, all chasing down Steve Davies for the finish as well. And Steve actually, little story, had our little Facebook Live going and could hear us commentating on the girls coming up behind him. So
fantastic.
Pays to have that on as well.
So a wonderful night. You'll see that the sun is setting or rising. I think the moon is rising at this point. And riding under the moon sky here in London on Zwift. And we obviously have a Coa Sports camp coming up shortly, and we'll be getting early starts, and we have athletes coming in from all over the world, if you want to call it the real world of training, and it'll be great to see them. And here's a short clip of last year's highlights from our camp. Coa Sports is a truly global bespoke coaching business. No templates, no workout libraries, no shortcuts, no drag and drop. We teach athletes so they understand the why and the how. We keep it as simple as the athlete likes or delve as deep as the data will go. Like to go with them now because there's some interesting racing going on there. There's a real good group back there, and only Sof is only about 8 seconds off the back of that group, so certainly within reach.
Yeah, so there's definitely a few of them in there. So Brando's heart rate earlier was up to 178 to catch the group, back to 165, so he's clearly having a bit of a breather. Sarah's there, April's there. These two are going to go head-to-head every race, I have no doubt. Steve Davies will be another one we can throw into that mix. And Maddo's just dropped off the back. We've still got Zach Anstey there as well. So another really, really strong group of athletes.
Important points. But again, there's some really important points in that section. Here's Soft here, so he can see them up the road. Interesting on his trainer at home, if you can visualise, you can see the carrot up the road.
Definitely.
And I wonder if that gives you an extra thing. But in fairness to Soft, he just completed his first Ironman less than 10 days ago.
Yeah.
So we're unsure as to how much is in the legs, but knowing Soft, he'll fight every little bit to get back there. We'll go back to the front.
Yeah, I'll throw another tip out here and say I'll get back on. So back to the guys in front. Now, these two are still working together.
We're with Chris and Aaron.
We're back to Chris and Aaron. Sorry. They're definitely working together as well. 4.3 watts a kilo. Looks like the two in front are doing about the same as well. 4.4, 4.5, maybe a little bit harder. They've now got a 13-second gap back to that battle for third.
I wouldn't underestimate Tebow's heart rate sitting in the mid 180s,
Okay,
which he's working. Yeah,
that's fair enough.
he's definitely working. These guys are working, but again, it is a short race tonight, so it's going to be a mean finish. There is a sprint com here, but here comes Tebow. He's going for
take the com.
He's going for the com.
He's taking the com points.
Here they go.
Here he goes.
We'll soon find
We'll
out.
We'll
find out whether there was a lead in
sprint
tonight.
Com or the lead in didn't happen, but no, it looks like Tebow's still going straight through that section. No, he has finished.
It was a sprint.
So it was a sprint?
Yep, that'll confuse them.
That's really confusing for the commentators as well. But anyway, that's Swift for you. We're still learning like you guys are as well. So these guys are now, we're looking at Chris and Aaron Stagg.
Yep. So these guys will do another lap. It's an 11.7k race. So they may see the finish arch, but indeed they will come under this one more time.
It's like the.
I wonder if Tebow may have just shown some of his hand there, thinking it was the finish, but soon enough they're still going.
So Soft just hanging off the back of that group now. He's really got him a second. He's got him a second now. So he will bridge back on, I hope, because I've made a bit of a prediction there. I've been wrong before.
Soft is right there. He's come back to the group there. Soft is going really well as well. And Jason Maddo Madsen, of course. Shout out to Jason. First Ironman,
another one.
Soft. There's a lot of Ironman athletes in tonight's race that raced recently,
and all amazing results right around the whole group. So it was a really awesome event to see so many.
I love that kit.
Athletes to the Ironman family.
Yeah, Hayley Tuck working really hard, holding that 2 watts per kilo as well. Only less than 2 minutes off the back, doing really, really well, working her way around the course and in really good shape, improving a lot actually at the moment with her consistency in training. And this is just part of her training at the moment and building up really, really nicely. Okay, back to the front of the race, of course, with Jason and familiar face Tebow. A little bit of background of Tebow. So Tebow is a pure cyclist. He races crits regularly, often cycling events. Tebow, if it doesn't stand out, and of course his flag there is from France.
Yeah.
And
he's just near home tonight.
But at the moment in Brisbane, Australia, working hard. And Jason Avery is a 70.3 triathlete and has got Ironman Nice. So going to Tebow's territory in the real world for the 70.3 World Championships. And this Swift racing this season is actually forming a really big part of a lot of these guys' race preparation.
Absolutely.
And is a really handy training tool.
Yeah, the improvements on... so the last race, my phone went off every 3 seconds post-race with a new threshold set, whether that be heart rate or power. So definitely there's some huge benefits in the indoor cycling world. Yeah,
interesting strategy here. So Alex and Aaron have worked there. I should say Alex Tolman and Aaron Stagg are working their way to Aaron Webb's wheel. So either Aaron is waiting or they are bridging and to form a group of 3 there. And Chris Piper has now sort of broken away from... So Chris Piper is now holding 3rd position really outright.
Yep.
And should finish in that position, you would think.
Yep. So it looks like Aaron's heart rate is coming down a bit. These two guys are still working back towards them, still pushing good numbers.
Yeah, we're coming towards-ish the finish as we roll around the streets of London, and it'll be a really big sprint finish off the front. They'll start to wind their way through these streets, through the buildings. The crowd is building, the atmosphere, the tension, the buzz, the electricity.
My heart rate's starting to go up because I know how you're going to get in about 1 minute's time.
Yeah, well, Jason, his heart rate monitor has exploded because we're not getting a heart rate reading anymore. But rest assured, at that cadence, at that power, he is working really hard. But sitting in behind Tebow, or sitting side by side now, so they will be both getting some relief off each other.
Yeah, so these guys are definitely going to battle it out once again for the finish. So last time bragging rights went to Tebow by about a third of a width of a wheel of a tyre.
Yeah.
So there wasn't much in it. We didn't expect Jason to show his cards that much in the first race, but he certainly did. And I have no doubt, knowing Jason, that he'll want to go to the top of the podium tonight.
Yeah, nice summary there. Really nice summary there. And take no prisoners. We got a little feather power up here.
There you go.
Jason's played the feather power up, so maybe just releasing the tension on the legs a little bit.
Well, there's a bit of an uphill here. We've got on a 3-4% uphill section, so definitely the time to use the power up. I'm going to tip that Tebow's got another type of power up for the finish. So we're only about 900 or 1 kilometre out from the finish.
Correct.
We hope. So these guys are really going to wind it up now, and this is where Uncle Tim gets really excited. So we're going to cross over to him to bring it home like he did last time because it was so amazing.
A nice aerial view here of Tebow and Jason. Of course, we will get to see everyone cross the line at some point, so we're just going to call various sections as they wind through here. They're going to come onto the finishing arch, and Jason's going to have to really throw down and see how he's going to be able. He's going to have to. I think he might have to move a little bit earlier and not let Tebow dictate terms. I've really seen Tebow, even in that sprint com, get away from Jason early. So perhaps Jason goes with a different option of maybe just seeing whether Tebow, potentially his 1 minute power is a little different to his 20-second power. And, just to test him out and try out different things. So we come down to the long downhill ramp here. So it gives you a real sort of slingshot into the finish. And we'll see as they come up now.
Any second now, one of these two is going to absolutely bounce. There's about 300 metres to go.
Yeah, we come up on this rise here. Someone's going to have to make a move really soon. The finish line's coming up sooner than they know. We'll stay with it here. Tebow sitting in on Jason's wheel. Strategy of getting the draft effect. We'll soon be jumping to the other athletes as they cross the line too. They come up this rise here just to take a little bit of the sting out of the legs. Tebow's smart. He's played the feather. Jason Avery now attacking. Here they come towards the line. You'll see the moon. Look at that big full moon. Here come the wolves out of the tunnel. They're going to start howling. The legs are going to start screaming as they come up towards the finish line. We see the Union Jacks over the main
Jason's
street.
had a big crack here, 8 point.
Jason's gone very early. See if he can hold it. Tebow's going to respond here. You see the orange numbers there on the right. Tebow in 7.3 watts per kilo. Can Jason Avery hold him off? We're coming up the finish line. Can Jason hold him? There's a really good gap. Jason's going to have to squeeze. He's going to have to squeeze the trigger as we come up.
Ooh, Tebow set up. Jason Avery is going to take the chocolates tonight. Absolutely flying
the
finish. I hope so.
I think you might have
called him early. We've called it real early. But anyway, Jason's
They're coming out of the rise still as they work their way through the streets. Tebow's only 4 metres off.
And we're still absolutely hammering these two. That was just maybe an early attack by Jason, just to jump on the front there and rip the legs off Tebow. So we will see how we go when they come through the next section. And back to we don't need to cross to them, but I'm just looking on the other screen here, back to Steve Davies. So we've got Steve, Alex, Aaron Stagg, Aaron Webb, and Brando all still together with Zach and Sarah Goodyear. That is a huge group formed behind at about 1 minute 30.
Yeah, it certainly is.
Looks like April's just dropped off the back of that group for the moment. And these two are still battling it out.
Probably the Jason and Tebow have gone 1 for 1 here on fake finishes. And they're clearly listening to the coverage and maybe falling for our traps as we get good data in these finish lines.
We didn't mean it. So we'll definitely be having a look at how long we've got to go. But anyway, they're still battling it out. The two of them are now a minute up the road from Chris, who's clearly still battling it out by himself. So look back now to this other group with Steve Davies. We've got Brando there. We've got Zach Anstey, Aaron Stagg, Sarah Goodyear, Alex Tolman. This is a huge group, Tim. This one here, once they do get to that sprint finish, is going to be on.
It certainly will be. We've got, what have we got? Basically 8 or 9 riders here in this group. So you'll get people off the front, obviously doing a fair bit of work, but also if you're in the group, you'll definitely get a chance to ease those legs. And you can see here sort of low 200s, even high 100 watts. So very manageable for this group of athletes. Some, really, really good power, good top ends. Tebow in that dominant orange kit. Off the front again, Jason sitting in, perhaps taking a little bit of a rest, easing off those legs. Some real hard work going down back there as well, with April Gillies having recently raced, of course, in Cairns as well in a half Ironman. Jason Madison with some tired legs, and Hayley Tuck, of course, still working her way really well, strongly around the course.
You can definitely see some tired legs coming into this event tonight. Some big weeks from some athletes all around Australia and the world. So, like any sort of week training and using Zwift, and we did a great group workout the other night as well. Definitely the athletes that are primed for this event are absolutely smoking it tonight.
Yeah, certainly are. That orange, those pair of orange socks with that Koa Sports kit look pretty good. A bit of mixing, matching there with the colours.
Absolutely. Righto, Tim. So we've had a look at the technical data here, and I think I'm going to throw this out there. I reckon we're going to come to the real finish in another 2.1 kilometres. Are you going to back me?
I'm backing you. We go
Yes.
in. We go in all the way.
Okay.
We go in all the way.
We go in together, and we
Isn't
go
this
in
the
all
wonder of the wonder of Zwift? Sometimes can throw in a curveball.
It's actually for these guys just over 1.2 kilometres to go.
It's all training.
My maths is right. Yeah, think about the extra training. So if Jason and Tebow are listening, fire up for another sprint. It's going to be on. So they are definitely still working. The training effect that they're getting out here is off the charts.
I'd say there'll be a little bit of head shaking going on, just wondering when the finish line. But this group here, this will be a fascinating finish. I think that'll be the finish of the night. Of course, Jason and Tebow will throw down some punches, but I think they might be the entree to the main course.
This group, I don't know what we're going to do here. This could be anything. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, probably 7 to 8 riders in that group.
Really solid riders too.
Yeah, some big legs in there. I'm not going to.
Good to see Sarah Goodyear in there, Greg.
Still hanging in there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, female athlete Sarah Goodyear here there amongst the boys. So really holding her own and dictating terms, Sarah, off the front, which is great to see.
Okay, so the leader's now gone through 15.7 kilometres.
Yeah, we'll go back to the front of the race.
So we will see how they go as they come through to the finish line.
Nice part of Greater London here.
Beautiful. Look at those walkways. No one in London today. Everyone's taking the day off work. What day is it, Tim? Thursday.
Thursday night, eSports night.
What day is Thursday night?
Esports night.
Forget the footy. We're doing esports.
Yeah, that's for Friday night. I wonder if the people on the sidewalk are contemplating Brexit still.
Well, who's that bloke now?
Boris, I think, is going to be stepping up. So we're inside 16.2 kilometres.
All right, here's my tip coming up. What's going to happen here?
Well, if we can see the finish line in the finish line, we're going to call it. You're going to go with it.
We're going to call it, are we? All right. So
you call it.
We've got Tebow here. He's just ramping it up a little bit now to 4 watts a kilo. Jason's sitting in on his wheel. There's no power-ups left here. We've seen both these athletes use their power-ups. This could be absolutely anything. Jason is sitting on his wheel. Tebow 3.5. Jason 4.4. Are they still just working together, Tim?
I'd say they're still working together as they wind their way back along the Thames here. And they're going to soak up the sunshine. We've managed to stitch them up in an endurance event.
It's going to be a very short, sharp finish. I'm going to tip on that because they're going to see a big flag ahead of them, and then all of a sudden
It could very well be.
on.
It could very well be coming up. Having said that, are we putting it back onto the riders to have done their research? Maybe we all along have been just teasing them a little and just stretching them out because what otherwise would have been a fairly flat race, maybe now we've been able to get a bit of a rise out of. So they turn right here over the bridge, back into the main street, and up over here, a small little rise here of 5%. You see up there in the top right some of the numbers we're looking at the moment. So they've come back over the bridge and they'll head back down into the city.
So, Tim, being a man like yourself, what is the last street for Monopoly?
The last street
on Monopoly.
I'm going to go with Mayfair.
I think either that or Park Lane.
Mayfair.
We'll check it later.
I think Mayfair is the last square on Monopoly. Here we go down into the tunnel. For a little bit of hill work.
This wasn't in the course notes, so we'll take a short break, are we? No, we won't take a short break. We'll stick with the riders. We're running through the tube at the moment. I've spent so many hours on this tube system over my life. It is not even funny. I've had breakdowns. I've had bomb threats. I've had all sorts of things happen to me in those tunnels. Hours. Hey guys, and welcome back. We have definitely
Thanks for your
had
patience.
a few tech difficulties tonight.
We did lose some sound there, so sorry about that. But we are back live here with the front of the race. And as that just so happens to happen in broadcast, sometimes you lose a bit of sound. And we are back, and we'll be sticking with the race, hopefully proper, till we can get some clarity.
So at the front of the race, we still have Tebow and Jason.
Aero tuck position by
absolutely
Tebow.
going hard at it again, all together. These two are... We're going to have some sore legs tomorrow, Tim, to deal with, but that's all good. That's what this race
for
is
us to mop
all
up.
about.
Yeah.
So we can't wait to see what happens here at the finish. Is that Jason pushing a little bit harder off the front, or is it just a downhill section? I think he's just rolled off the front a little bit.
Yep, absolutely. No, we you can see that there in that second group we've come through the Box Hill Park area, and we'll be fast approaching the Thames River again as we come back over the river. We've certainly done the Greater London Loop tonight. The Greater London Loop would be the best way to do it. But some great training here and some great racing, and no doubt, as all warriors, they will be fighting all the way to the line.
Yeah, that second group too is still very, very well together. There's a big group back there, so it'll be interesting to see what...
Chris is still in that middle section, Greg.
What happens when they get to that section as well. Here's that second group now. We've got still
audio?
4, 6, 7 athletes in there, so all working really hard. There's someone on a BMC there at the front too, which is really good to see.
They've been at the drop shop.
Oh,
the drop shop on Zip. They've gone in there and bought themselves a BMC. I wonder who that is, actually.
I don't know,
It would
we
be
didn't
interesting
catch
to
the
find
name.
out. They deserve extra points, I think.
I'm going to tip it'll
Good
be
taste.
Brando. Brando has probably got... It is Brando, absolutely. He is on your TT bike, Tim, the other night as well. It looks exactly like yours did when you raced Port Macquarie a couple of
last
weeks
week.
last month.
Tebow's dropping 8.3 watts
Okay,
per
here we
kilo
go.
off the front. Coming up the hill, they're coming out of the tunnel, and Tebow's now attacking off the front. Jason's going to have to bridge that back. There's going to be some seriously sore legs as they come out of the tunnel. Good little rise there out. We'll stay with the guys again off the front here as they wind their way back through London proper. They've come out of the park and they come over the come through the
Over the
arches
London
here.
Bridge. So we're on target here for a...
We'll take a short break with the 2XU commercial, and then we'll be back for the hard and fast finish.
Got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
1, 2, 3, listen.
We're back live, and one interesting thing I know, having spoken to 2XU, is these wonderful new kits are going to be made in the real version for our esports athletes, exclusive
Wow.
to Koa Sports League athletes. So if you have signed up, you will have access to be able to buy the real world fabric, so to speak, and be able to wear them on the road. And there's the Shard there in... I hope I've got that
the
right.
Gherkin. They call it the Gherkin.
What's
the
it called?
locals.
The Gherkin?
The Gherkin.
As our producer Kent there is yelling across in his
The Gherkin.
English,
It's
in
the
his
Gherkin.
English accent.
The
Coming
Gherkin.
around, I'm going to go with it now.
Righto,
Greg.
let's
I'm
run. Let's
going
go.
with
You've
the
been here
finish.
before. Let's go.
I've been here before, and I have a feeling the finish arch is coming up, so we're going to see some jostling here for position. I'm going to go with it, and if not, I think I'll just drop the mic and walk out. Because that is what it's all about. 300 metres to go to the finish line as they make their way around here through the circuit. Jason Avery and Tebow. Tebow in the orange, of course. Jason in the Koa Sports kit. As they wind their way, a small little 1% gradient. As they'll come around to right here, they should reveal the finish line.
There it
As you
is.
can see the finish arch.
Up they go. Come on,
Will
boy.
they go?
Here you
Jason Avery attacks off the front. Tebow slow to respond. He's probably just not sure whether that's the actual finish line. Oh, see what?
Still not. I think we're still racing. We've gone through the finish line. We're also on to lap 2 now.
We're still racing. This is one for the record books.
These two must be, if they could talk to each other now, they'd be just throwing their bottles off to the side and going, we think we're going to retire. Greg's called us home to the finish. Tim's called us home to the finish twice.
I've gone all in.
Yet we're still going. That was a finish arch.
At least we get a thumbs up.
He's got a ride on there, Jason.
If I could give you a ride on, I would.
Hey,
boys.
at least one good thing, they went through a finish arch, so they got another power up.
They certainly do. They certainly do.
Here's this group too now. Maybe they think it's the finish as well. What have we got happening here? 2.4 watts from Aaron. They're all having a bit of a crack up the hill.
Jason and Tebow here making their way back through the tunnel. As they're going to wind their way through as they wind their way back along the Thames. Jeez, they're going to be seeing a lot of the Thames today, Craig.
They won't need to go to
Do
London.
you think that
Tim.
this might get a mention on our podcast
This
coming
could
up?
definitely get
I think this might get a mention on our podcast.
if we have any athletes left in the group. But what a good workout.
We might get dropped.
Athletes said to us, what am I going to get out of the Coal Sports League? Well, you're going to get fitter.
It's unpredictable.
You're not going to know, and you're going to get a lot fitter.
It's the unpredictability.
So Tim, what are we going to do here? We're going to go 3, 4 hours, 5? What do you reckon?
Well,
Just sit back and
we're gonna.
we'll watch it on 5. If you can't laugh at yourself, you're way too serious.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
This is a great fun event, and these two aren't thinking that at the moment, I'm sure, but
Easy
they
for
are
us.
definitely still working hard. You can see it in their numbers. They're definitely been pushing those numbers now for 38 minutes.
We're
They're
gonna
on a
come
slight
on
little rise.
Piccadilly Rise again, just to really stretch those legs. Then we'll come up that red carpet again down through Greater London, and then we're going to call that as the finish line.
Yep.
And we'll see whether that is the actual finish line, Greg.
Let's hope so.
We'll stay with the middle pack, and we'll go back to the production studio. We'll be back shortly. And we're back live, of course, with the Coa Sports League Round 2 as they wind their way through on the red carpet here. It's starting to rain, of course, we are in
Beautiful
London, of course. We are in London.
Day.
They're winding their way around here.
They're going to go down and do a bit of a hot dog here to him, I
They are.
believe.
They've done a bit of the U-turn out. So is that Buckingham Palace, Greg, or
That's
am I getting
Buckingham
carried
Palace.
away?
You ever been to London? Or
No, I never have.
Really?
No, never
Great
have.
city. If you're about 23 and want to have a good time out, I tell you, she's a good city to party
Well,
in.
I'll tell you one thing.
In
I'm
a
not
long while
20.
since I was 23.
I'm not 23, and I'm not out for a good time.
Oh, we'll send Ken over there then on the next Coa Sports camping expedition. So
After the 7.6k lead in, we
unexpected.
yes, it would be fair to say unexpected, but that's just added training, and they'll start to wind their way through here. Should we double down on the around 32 kilometre finish line, Greg?
Yeah, I'm gonna back you.
I'm going to
For the
back you
third
in.
time
I'm going to
tonight.
throw you under the bus here, Greg.
The 32 kilometre marker. We're going to have a finish, and these two guys in front.
I think we're going to see a finish
Yeah,
arch
not.
very, very soon.
Okay, so we're going to do the loop down at the hot dog end here. We've still got a couple of Ks to go as we come right back up the Mall.
The Mall?
This is
Where
the
are you
Mall.
from?
Hang on. What's this called, Ken? This is called the Mall. The Mall, the Mall. They call it the Mall. I'm not English, but they call
You're a
it the Mall.
disgrace.
And this is
We are
where-
on the hot tarmac here.
This
Now,
is
believe
where
it or
the-
not, I've raced here before, and I'm very familiar with this. And I'd say we are on the hot tarmac here, coming in hot for a 32k race. Please, for the sake of their legs.
Oh,
There's
hang
a-
on. We're ripping it up now,
They're
these
rip-
two. 10 watts per kilo
10 watts
from
per
Tebow.
kilo as Tebow drops down the hammer in the pouring rain. Jason Avery drops the aero helmet as they come down here. You can see in the darkness, Jason Avery breaks off Tebow. He's broken the chain. Let's see if they drop the hammer as they come through along the red carpet. They've gone for an early break. Jason Avery with the aero helmet coming through. He's
Here
gonna
we
go
come to the
around
finish
right
line,
hand.
Tim. I'm going to back it in now. There's 200 metres to go. Jason's busting it off the front. 8 watts a kilo. Tebow's sat up. Jason's absolutely smashing it to the finish line. Is he going to hold on tonight? It looks like he is. He's got a very big break to Tebow.
He's got to hold on. He's put 10 seconds into Tebow. Here comes the finish arch. You can see it in the darkness. It's just starting to reveal itself underneath the blimp there. Jason Avery off the front. He think he's sitting up. I think he can put two hands in the air. Heaven forbid, is this the finish line?
Is it the finish? It certainly is. Jason Avery coming through to take out race 2 of the Coa Sports League.
Tebow in second position, coming through up the finish line.
I think
has
Tebow's done a
knocked it
poof of his finish. He's absolutely had it. The rain's got him. It's hailing out there in London, but he's still spinning the legs over at 2 watts a kilo to come in and finish. We might be getting an email from Tebow later tonight.
We're going to take a short 20-second break of audio as we catch our breath for what's going to be a barnstorming finish as the second group comes through.
Yep. And here we are now, Tim, with Group 2 coming through. Big group of athletes. Zach Anstey, Sarah Goodyear. Who else we got in there, Tim? We've got Alex Tolman. This is going to be on. There's aero power-ups being used. Draft buses.
Sarah Goodyear.
All sorts of stuff being used here. Brandon Geriel in there. Very strong athlete on the Zwift. They are absolutely going to romp it home, this group. They've got about 200 metres to go. I'm waiting to see someone busted off the front in the red numbers. And here they go. It is Brando, 5.7 watts a kilo off the front. Absolutely smashing it. Steve Davies going with him. Alex Tolman now 9 watts per kilo. Absolutely ramping it home. Here comes Steve and Aaron. Brando's still in front. Steve's on an aero power up. Or is that Alex? It's Alex. Steve's hanging in there. Brando's still holding on. Here comes Steve. Brando 8.5 watts a kilo. I'm going to hold on for the win. B grade. And fighting it out is Aaron Stagg, Steve Davies, Aaron Webb, Zach Anstey. What a great race in the end, Tim.
Great call. Absolutely sensational call there. Sensational call.
These athletes have earned a rest. It's been a very long night tonight. We have to. Oh, here we are. We're back live in the studio.
Fantastic.
Mate.
What an absolutely fantastic finish there. That was absolutely sensational watching that second group go through. We saw legs exploding. Of course, a 31.6 kilometre with a 7.6 kilometre lead in. I'm happy to put it out there. Apologies, we did not expect such a long lead in tonight, but that is technology. And at the end of the day, all we want is our people to get fitter and stronger. And perhaps we'll go and watch Hayley Tuck come across here. She'll be winding her way through at 24.9 kilometres at the moment. Still a ways to go. April Gillies, of course, at 28.5. Aaron Webb at 30.3 kilometres. And Jason Madsen at 28.1 kilometres as they wind their way through London. And we'll be able to get some of the live results soon as they start to filter through.
Yeah, as the grades finish, we get the live results, which is great. So we'll be able to start to run through those as we watch these guys come through. What a night of racing. Zwift, greater London Loop. Amazing night.
That was great.
It was awesome. So I'm just
April
going to...
Gillies, look at that. The frame in purple, socks in purple, some great matchy going on there.
Absolutely. Out in the Cole Sports kit. She'll be disappointed that she's not in a black sock, I would imagine.
We might just take a quick audio break again as we gather our thoughts and table up some of these results from the early part of the race, and we'll leave you with the action of some of our riders here finishing off and gathering those all-important points for the leaderboard later on in the season as we just go to the Pure Zwift screen.
a little bit of sweat on my brow I had to get away tonight. That was an awesome couple of sprints to watch. So we are going to run through a few results.
Yeah, A grade's in. We have A grade in, what an amazing race.
This is being a man from a horse racing. You used to like your horse racing.
Back in the day,
when you had a winning ticket, you used to love this sound. And you'd be like, no protest.
That's right.
Anyway, we didn't have any of those tonight. So on to A grade results.
I think people would. What we'll do is we'll talk over the top as we watch Hayley here, because I really want to give Hayley some real shout out here as she works her way. This is a really tough course for her. So we'll go to Hayley and we'll read out the results as we watch Hayley work her way around.
So I'll jump into A grade, Tim. And tonight we had a little bit of a changing of the guard at the front of the A grade group with a role reversal in points, which tells me without checking that we have now got 2 athletes after 2 races on the exact amount of points.
You are correct.
Yes, so we had tonight...
You're no genius, but you are correct.
Jason Avery taking out A grade and overall line honours in a time of 46 minutes and 33 seconds.
Of course, the adjusted cutoff for round 2 being 75 minutes. So
we'll be definitely adhering to that.
I have an email in my inbox from the KSDA, adjusted cutoff time of 75 minutes for round 2.
Perfect. So Jason's average wattage was 275 watts for that period of time at 3.8 watts a kilo. Now, interestingly, Tebow... Again, we always keep looking at these things, but spent a little bit more time on the front tonight. So he pushed to 3.9 watts a kilo. Jason pretty much blew his doors off in that last sprint. I'm going to say that. Tebow won't mind me saying that. He'll be back next race, which is next week. No problem whatsoever. In third place, we had Chris Piper, 316 watts, Tim. That might be a
goodness gracious me
coming through there tonight. 3.6 watts a kilo for Chris. We had Aaron Stagg in 4th place and
Aaron Webb
rounding out the top 5 in A grade in 50 minutes and 30 seconds. So good, not too many minutes between a long race like that. It was really good to see. Of
course, that humdinger of a finish with B grade and C grade riders all mixed together, but the B grade results are in at the moment, and we have newcomer Brandon Geriel. I've got that right,
exactly
Greg.
Right. Yep.
Brandon Geriel, he finished in 48 minutes, averaging 254 watts for the 48-minute effort at 3.3 watts per kilo. In second position, only 2 seconds back.
What are you laughing
in 48 minutes and 9 seconds, averaging 240 watts, 3.3 watts per kilo. And, of course, in C grade, some of the results now starting to filter through. We have Alex Tolman picking up first position. Good on Hayley Tuck here, really just toughing it out all the way to the end. A really super effort. And Alex Tolman here taking out C grade tonight, also involved in that huge finish. Look at that average heart rate of 184 beats per minute. You can see the difference there, completely different. One second back from Alex Tolman was Zach Anstey, 48 minutes and 9 seconds, 211 watts. In third position, Sarah Goodyear, 2 seconds back off the lead, 48 minutes and 10 seconds, averaging 196 watts at 3.8 watts per kilo.
Whoa.
That is serious. 3.8 watts per kilo for nearly 50 minutes. That's some hard riding. April Gillies coming off a 70.3 as well as Sarah just last weekend in 53 minutes and 45 seconds. 5 minutes and 37 seconds off first place. 2.9 watts per kilo, 178 watts. And in 5th position, rounding out the points in C grade tonight, Jason Madsen, or Jason Madsen, as you like to call him, 159 beats per minute, 54 minutes and 17 seconds, 6 minutes and 9 seconds back, as Greg's giving me the wind-up, 2.7 watts per kilo.
Right, so Tim, say this for me. 666 for 66.
666 for 66.
I thought you were just starting to struggle with your sixes there. There's so many of them for quite a while. So
Hayley Tuck here going to finish off in fine style. She's on the red carpet. at least it's not raining anymore.
No, rain's cleared up.
Really
Sun's
great
not
effort
out.
by Hayley. It's fantastic. She's going to pick up points. Again, going to pick up points in D grade as she'll move her way potentially through the female leaderboard as well, staying in touch there for some unbelievable prizes, of course, at the end of the season. We'll take a short audio break as Hayley starts to work her way around the final stages of round 2 of the Koa Sports League.
And here comes Hayley now, coming through to finish. What an awesome effort. She's ridden solo.
First
for
in
about,
D grade.
Absolutely. And
She's
in the
dropping
points
4.1
again.
watts per kilo. Good on you, Hayley. Finishing off really, really strong. Looking forward to seeing this data as it comes through, putting in the real heavy effort. She's got to brush that hair away from her eyes.
Amazing effort. Well done, Hayley. Crossing the line through now to take out D grade.
And that rounds it out.
That rounds us up. Round 2 of the Koa Sports League. And we will be back
next
week, Tim, with round number 3. We're really looking forward to it and cannot wait.
Going to be some hills.